Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Command Center, where we like to put our favorite commander, maybe even yours, front and center. And you know we can't do that unless you play those three classic letters, E-D-H. It makes Kadoken sleepy, but I guess he needs to tell us what it is so he can wake up.
Yeah, you guys decided to do this so early in the morning.
I'm sorry, we wanted breakfast.
But it don't matter. So look here, I'm tired of telling everybody what it means. It's the same thing every day. It stands for Extra Dimensional Helper. That's right, today we talking about Planeswalkers, baby. But before we go down that lovely magical world road, let's give a shout out to one of our patrons.
That's right, we always want to give a shout out to a patron when they join the Mana Squad, and today we are shouting out Uday.
Uday.
Hey, it's Uday. Come
okay.
On. All right. Uday, thank you for joining the Mana Squad. Thank you for giving us your patronage. And you know when we shout out our new patrons, you also got to shout out their favorite commanders.
Now, who does Uday like to bring that pain with?
It's actually a weird one, but I like it. It's Admiral Beckett Brass.
Never heard of him.
So Admiral Beckett Brass is Grixis and 1. She's a 3-drop human pirate.
Wait. Is this Captain Morgan's cousin?
This is Captain Morgan's cousin.
The one that stayed dirty and come to the family reunion with ice. Yeah, I know how dirty this one is.
They always bring in the club with them when they come to the scene.
Okay.
All right. So basically, all other pirates you get +1/+1. At the beginning of your end step, you gain control of target non-land permanent controlled by a player who's dealt damage. Combat damage this turn by 3 or more pirates. So the pirates move in, they get that booty, and you get to take it at the end of the turn.
Let me explain this. If in an Atlanta way, they take your cookies.
They taking your cookies.
So that's what they decide to do. Okay, I respect what you do.
Ken, you just scared the hell out of me when you just said I'm going to describe it in an Atlanta way. I was like, oh no, what is about to come out of your mouth? Proceed.
That can be several things depending on what side of town you are. Decatur, Alpaw, Epert.
This is Admiral Bankhead Brass.
Exactly. Wild like the Taliban. 9 in the right, 45 in the other hand. So, as we proceed to give you what you need, first of all, we'd like to also shout out the summit that's coming up in Utah.
Yep, the Mtg Summit, Salt Lake City. We will be there in some capacity. I don't know what we're doing, but, I mean, you can catch us. We'll be doing hijinks, but...
Said we're probably playing Magic.
We're going to be degenerates. That's what I've never been to Utah before, and I hear that
I hear the fried chicken is really good.
Fried chicken in Utah.
That's a long conversation for later. But anyway, let's get these people back to
all I want to eat. Fried chicken in Utah. Sorry.
That's right.
I forgot where I was.
You certainly did. So, getting back to the topic. Planeswalkers. Planeswalkers is a hot topic around the campfire. Some people love them. Some people hate them. Some people, it's either or. And we want to go around the table and just give general expression about Planeswalkers and how they affect the game. And maybe give some personal anecdotes about their experience with Planeswalkers.
So as you so lovely coined this episode also, don't hate the player. Hate the
Planeswalker. Exactly.
Yeah.
No, that's hard. Don't hate the planes, hate the Planeswalker. That's how we do that.
All right, so I'm going to let Derek actually start off on this one.
Because y'all know how I feel about Planeswalkers. I don't like them at all. They're just... The abilities are fine. Some of them are a little bit broken. Some of them are fair. My issue with it is they always prolong the game. My least favorite deck type, even more than Stack sometimes, is Super Friends. Because that game is going to take you like 7 hours. I've never seen a Super Friends deck win fast or even progress a game fast. Because I've noticed... I play a couple Planeswalkers in decks for art and different reasons. Like, I love the Zombie Walkers from, like, the San Diego Comic-Con from a while back. Mm-hmm. I love those. So I have a couple of those I'll throw into decks. But I've noticed when they get played, even the useless ones, everyone will divert all of their attention to killing the Planeswalker first, regardless of what other abilities are on it. And it literally essentially serves as this weird pseudo-life gain, and everyone's attention goes to it. So one, it slows it down because it's basically extra life you have to take off. And on top of that, people always, I feel like, waste removal on Planeswalkers that sometimes aren't necessary. And then a different piece comes down and, okay, you just killed my Nissa that's making a plant every turn. And now we have a giant problem, like a Bolas Citadel dropping, but you wasted your non-land permanent removal. So it eats up the non-specific broad removal. It prolongs games. I'm not a fan.
All right.
Would you like some cheese to go with all that complaining coming out your mouth? Let me tell you.
I can't have cheese. I'm lactose intolerant, but thank you.
Yeah, we figured that out the hard way. Does this got milk in it? You ask after you eat it. But anyway, let's cut to the chase right quick. Okay, Planeswalkers are the best thing invented since the class mechanic, the class enchantments that came. All right, Planeswalkers not only are like extra commanders, they're actually better than your commanders because they can enhance your entire board state. They can actually synergize with your team. The three mechanics on most of them, the three activated abilities, a lot of them aren't oppressive. Of course, we have some instance where they are. That's because the Wizard crew was, dipping into the LSD when they were making it. But, we know there's ones that like Oko and Ugin and Karn. The ones. But relatively to them, all the other ones are safe and they impact the game relatively minor. Case in point, like the Tibble that says you can't gain life. That is beautiful. The lower Karn that says you can't activate, abilities. It's like an enchantment in most cases now. So I don't see where all this complaint comes from because you have to divert a little extra, activity towards it. And it's, you know what? It's even better than an enchantment because it's an enchantment that can be removed by force.
So you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and interject. I'm actually gonna be in the middle of the road. I actually see where both of you guys are coming from.
Nah, we ain't doing that. You need to pick a side.
No. So there's three of us, so one of us had to pick the middle, the safe lane. All right, so I definitely see where both of you are coming from, like I said. And when I first started playing Magic, I was so much in love with Planeswalkers, kind of like Kennethan is here today. Hado Kennethan. So I definitely used to love Planeswalkers. I feel like the game got oversaturated with Planeswalkers, probably around the time that Planeswalkers could start being your commander. And then that's when I kind of started falling out of love with Planeswalkers.
There's only one set that ruined it, and it was War of the Sparks. We didn't need a Planeswalker in every pack. That was just laziness. Although we got some of the greatest Planeswalkers ever kicking out that pack. Like Teferi, who pimps on pimping. Like, let's see.
That's every Teferi.
Oh, every Teferi is disgusting.
But
all the way from Wesley Snipes to Shamar Moore.
Yeah, that's right. You kind of making my point for me though. Like every Teferi after War of Spark was just like gangbusters. Even the Teferi that came in the Commander Planeswalker deck, where the Planeswalkers could all be your commanders. That whole little commander set, all of them are pretty strong. And I think that's where it kind of died at for me.
Well, I'll put it like this. Most people hate Planeswalkers because they don't have built-in removal for spot removal, and and a lot of creatures don't come in. They enter the battlefield and remove them.
So there's not a lot of things that say destroy target Planeswalker.
Exactly, which is as we see changing as the sets go on. But if that's the case, you can't blame nobody but the person playing against them. Like if my graveyard is running wild, you can't blame me if I don't have graveyard removal. If I have an enchantment out there, I don't know, like a Mind's Dilation, like a Rhystic Study, or like anything that said plays in his deck, then you have no choice but to bring the removal for it. If not, it's gonna run wild on you. And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
I think my emphasis is a little bit more on either them in bulk, so like Super Friends types decks, or some of the ones that can be commanders. Not even for the abilities, again, just for what it does to slow down the game. Because attacking them is... So I do enjoy... If there's 2 or 3 in a deck, I like the premium and like the way it rewards players for playing in combat. Every one of my decks, I think, wins... I don't think I have a single deck that doesn't win through combat. Like, I enjoy combat. So I think that is the best way to, like, reward. Yeah?
There's no more Villainous Wealth? Is that what you're telling us?
It is currently shelved in limbo.
I love the way you do on spell slinger decks.
Oh no, it's not that they're bad. My brain does not. Again, strict rule: if I can't play a deck a few drinks in, I don't want to play it. And spell slinger breaks the hell out of that rule, so I avoid that. But I like it. I love it saying like combat's the way to go. But it's in bulk or as a commander that I have a problem because again, even just playing against them as commanders. The abilities are fine, this and that, but it will always take a 1 hour game to an hour and a half or 2 hours because you literally are taking turns where instead of dealing 10, 15 damage to players, you're attacking a Planeswalker.
Young El Dorado, let me explain why you're wrong. All right, so check this out. There's been plenty of cards printed throughout the sets where Planeswalkers shouldn't even be a thing. And I'm not even talking about like the Hess Mage. I'm not even talking about Aether Snap. I'm not talking about any of these cards that remove counters out there. I'm not even talking about Solemnity that says you can't even put counters on stuff.
The Elder spell.
Yeah, the Elder spell that says move B, get out the way. Another Atlanta reference. Get here if you can. All I've got to say is...
But you got to go home.
Please go home.
It's
Like,
too many
in the
of
nicest
y'all.
way possible.
Jesus, it's like everybody and their grandma live on 285. I digress. There's plenty of cards printed in the meta that does one-shots to permanents. Are we forgetting the classic Beast Within? Are we forgetting Generous Gift? Are we forgetting any of these?
So I don't think they should be banned from the format. I just think very few times in a game do I see someone play Planeswalkers plural and it have a net benefit. I feel like playing one in the deck is really cool. It's a cool effect. It mixes it up. But the second someone's dropping 2 or 3, it's immediately, it takes the game from like, oh, we're playing Commander to, all right, everybody pause. Let's murder these before we forget what the abilities do, and then let's get back to the game.
Now, I will split the difference. Because I have big games where somebody has 7 Planeswalkers, and it's like, I'm going to move the counter here. Wait, no. I'm going to move the counter here. And then I'm going to go over and move the counter here. I was like, I'm going to beat you to death with your own dice bag if you don't hurry up.
I think, because I'm going to give a peek into my brain, that's my biggest pet peeve in Magic. You can kill me in any way. You can combo me, murder me on turn 1, murder me on turn 12. My biggest pet peeve are people that take long turns. Like, if you take over like a 5-minute turn, immediately I'm going to start losing interest.
Yeah, if you take over a 5-minute turn, I'm going to immediately start losing interest. Said.
Man, whoever that guy Kato Ken is talking to off camera, I feel sorry for you. So anyway.
Just got roasted off camera. Sorry, dude. We didn't mean that.
Jeez.
I mean, sometimes, bro, you be in the tank forever. I'd be like, it's only 2 cards in your hand. What are you thinking about?
Well, it depends on what state I'm in when we're playing. But anyway.
Yeah, but it's a state of fear. We know this.
Yeah, sure. All right. So, well, I think what we really need to hone on with this conversation is, of course, we can have our gripes and our love about what we love about Planeswalkers. But at the end of the day, I guess what we want to say is, how can we make the game a little bit more enjoyable with or without Planeswalkers? It might be a hard question. It might be a little bit difficult. But what are your thoughts on that?
I would say just like the drinks I have while I play, do it in moderation. Like that's the most important thing. Because if you go too heavy, Super Friends are too heavy, or just know the hell out of your deck. If you are so familiar with your Planeswalkers that you're going to take a quick turn even though you got 3 or 4 out, I'm not going to care that much. But if like Ken was just describing, Planeswalkers are very hard to play if you're not familiar with your own cards. And if you're sitting there debating between upticking and downticking and then you're missing triggers and this and that, it's the reason I don't play them, because I know I would miss all those triggers and I would sit there for 5 minutes reading my own cards. So I would say play them in moderation and just know your cards so you don't make everybody else wait on the Planeswalkers.
Here's my deal. You play as many as you want. See, there's a lost art that I got to give to lesser formats. Lesser formats have a sideboard. You know what I have with Commander? A sideboard. So if I see something that might be a problem, I'm going to reach into my sideboard of Commander and prepare my deck for what's about to come.
Ken does the mid-game, like literally mid-game. He just grabs his cards out, switches sleeves. We ask him what he's doing. He doesn't say anything. And he always has the perfect card in hand. I can't figure it out.
I mean, we can kind of see it coming because his sleeves are clear. But, you know, it's like, it's still like, leave a little bit of mystery.
I want to need every last one of y'all to shut the hell up. Like, immediately.
Man, all right. So, are we done speaking on that? Okay, how can you feel like we can make the game a little bit more enjoyable?
Like I said, just prepare for, like Scar said it best. Be prepared. If you know something, like put something in your sideboard, and I know that's just have cards just in case of emergencies, and that's what I build with all my decks. So if somebody says, "Oh, I'm playing an Omnath deck," do I have any deck that can contend with that? No, but I got a sideboard slot that can, and that's where I do. Always prepare yourself.
Stay prepared. Be prepared.
That's why I always keep another pair of underwear in the car, just in case. I need to run around the store.
One under the hat. Fun fact, he always wears a hat because he got a spare pair of drawers just under the hat at all times. Always ready.
All right, so I think we can kind of close it out. I think that the audience pretty much understands you guys' love and hate when it comes to Planeswalkers, my indifference. I've said it myself. I stopped actually on my newest builds. I don't really put any more planeswalkers into my deck. Not necessarily because I don't see there's a spot for them, but the consensus on Twitter so far has been if they consider planeswalkers, they're the last ones to get, or the first ones to get cut. If they have like 102, 103 cards in the deck, 101 cards, bye planeswalker. Unfortunately, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Anything to speak on that when it comes to actually considering planeswalkers for your deck?
Well, one more thing I got to say about planeswalkers in general is I just love the way they look and how they dress too. I mean, the style is just ridiculous. Speaking of style, if you're trying to stay in the wear and in the know and look the best you can when you play your play group, destroying your other competitors, make sure you stay tuned to Into the AM. You know, some of the finest clothes out there and some of the most comfortable that you can wear while you sitting at your play group. Remember, in space, they can't hear you scream, but they can see your drip.
Exactly. Anything to add on to that, Derek?
No, I'll just play against Planeswalkers forever and cry at night. It's just the like. No, Planeswalkers are cool. Planeswalkers are fine. I do think that my biggest issue closing it out is that I found low threat Planeswalkers aren't a thing. They're gonna get killed regardless. So you either become the monster you despise and just play the scariest Narsets and everything of the world, or even if you play janky ones, they're going to get murdered anyway. So I think it pushes people to play the more dangerous ones, leading to more of a reputation. So it's like a never-ending cycle.
Like I said, it's only the top 5 that makes you poop your clothes. I mean, we all know it's Eugene, it's Karn, it's the blue, the no fun mono blue Narset.
One of the any other Tefris.
Any other T breezies, you know, and that's pretty much it. Everybody else, you know, good to go.
So I think what we've learned today is just kill Ken first still.
That still seems to be the
consensus.
The consensus.
If you come for the crown, you better not miss. Oh, but you know, if any of these planeswalkers we mentioned to you that you feel like picking up because you're a degenerate just like I am, degent for life, why don't you check out our affiliate link at the bar with TCG? You know, help yourself out, help out your local LGS, and help your decks out at the same time. All right.
So let us know what you think about those planeswalkers in the comments below. I'm pretty sure like Ken thinks they're going to be what, 98,
99% positive. Okay. Pro planeswalkers over in this section. Anyway, like and subscribe, but until next time.